Hi guys, welcome to this video. I will be showing you guys how I achieved this look. It is going to be a long video, so be prepared. I'm going to be as detailed as possible. So I had already prepped the quinceañera skin. I did not get a video of that. I thought I pressed record, but I did not. Here I am using the Juvia's eyeshadow, and I use that as a transition. Honestly, I use this color for most of my clients. It's one of my go-tos. You just kind of have to look at your client and see what is a good transition shade. You don't want anything too dark. As you can see, if you look at the shadow in her forehead, it's like almost the same transition color. So I just kind of go off of like their colors and their body and make it a little bit darker than that. And then here I am going to be darkening it up a little bit more. I used a darker color, like maybe 2 shades darker. So you do want to make it like show a little bit more. So always go like 2, maybe 3 shades darker, but you want to have a good transition for that. And then I went in with a lighter shade. All of these colors are going to be warm tones, so they're like oranges, browns. I did use a lighter tan color. This one's from a Morphe palette. The only thing, guys, that I will not be showing in this video is like every single product, because this video is already long itself. So I'm just kind of show you and explain to you what I'm doing and the products that I do use, and you guys can look them up. Then I did go on top and I added this shimmer eyeshadow on top of it. It's not a glitter, it's just more of a shimmery look. On camera it looks a little bit goldish, but it was actually more of silver tones. So I did apply that all throughout the eyelid. Well, not all the way out, but kind of to, you see where the darkness is of the outer part, I kind of stop before I get there. Then I am gonna be getting a actual glitter eyeshadow. These are like the press on glitters. I'm gonna be applying that as well in just a second. And this is what really happens, you know, when I'm working with quinceañera. Sometimes I get on their phone, which is okay. So like I said, here I'm using my fingers to apply it, and it's just gonna make the look so much better. Everything is going to pop. And honestly, guys, I feel like when you are adding any type of like shimmer or glitters to the eye, I always prefer to use my finger, but because I feel like it kind of spreads better than using a brush. Because sometimes when you use a brush, it goes directly in the spot that you're applying it to, so like it doesn't spread as evenly and it looks like patches. That's why I like to use my finger, because I feel like it kind of presses on more natural and it goes throughout the eyelid, and it looks, I don't know, it just looks more pretty. It looks more blended. And then here she goes back on her phone. I'm just kidding, guys. It's okay. I think honestly, guys, to me personally, it really doesn't bother me when people get on the phone, as long as it's like, you know, they're not putting their head fully down where it's kind of like bothering me while I'm working. So to me, honestly, it doesn't really bother. I'm just kind of used to it at this point. And then here I did start off with her eyeliner. I always use an angled brush, guys. I've tried so many different brushes. I tried thin ones, like pencil type of style brushes, but my favorite one is an angled one. I feel like it helps so much. I use the angled eyeliner, and I do add some drops that make it kind of more waterproof. I'll show you guys which one it is later on or maybe another video, but I do buy it from TikTok. It's literally $3 and it's a game changer. You could use it for eyeliners. You can also use it for any like liquid foundations, any like cream products. It makes everything last a lot longer and like literally waterproof. And then here I do have her look down, and then I'm just kind of guiding myself where her lower lash line is, and I just kind of like follow that line and then just bring everything together. Sometimes the eyeliner does not always come out perfect, I'm gonna be honest, but that is okay, guys. I mean, it's just part of it. Sometimes it's gonna come out good and sometimes it's not. Sometimes I do have to clean up, and I'll just use like a wet wipe, and we'll do that later on, or you can use a Q-tip to kind of clean it up. Now we're moving on to the next eye, and basically same thing, same process here, guys. I just kind of skipped through that little part because it was taking me long and I did not want this video to be extra long. So as you can see, I just kind of have her look a little bit down, which she kind of looked a little bit up, which is fine. I already kind of had the idea to where I was going to be angling the eyeliner, and then I just added a little bit more eyeliner to the brush just to intensify the color. And then here I am going to be bringing back the eyeliner again. I'm just trying to connect the eyeliner. But yeah, guys, so I hope you guys really are enjoying this video. I know it's a very long video, but I wanted to do something a little bit different. I guess kind of just explained everything and like the real process of how a quinceañera makeup goes, because it's a long process. Some quinceañeras, I'm gonna be honest, guys, some of them do talk, some of them don't talk. Here I was very focused. We also did have a lot of music playing in the background, and it was pretty loud, so it was kind of hard for us to even talk. And I had also already done her makeup before, so sometimes we talk a lot and sometimes we don't. So, but also whenever I am curling their lashes, guys, I always ask them, is this okay before I curl? Because my biggest fear is like hurting somebody with the lash curler. Sometimes it's scary, and sometimes they do it by themselves. I did match her foundation. I did not get that part, guys. There was, I think it was like 4 long videos in total, but I did not get the part where I was mixing the foundation. Most of my foundations are mixed. If you guys want me to do a video on that, explaining how I mix my foundations and colors and all that, I can later on. You guys are gonna see me struggle. Like, sometimes not every makeup look is perfect, and my skills, I feel like sometimes are not the best. I was struggling here to kind of create the shape of her eyebrows. Even though they look pretty similar on camera, guys, like in person, one of them was a little bit higher than the other. So I was just trying to make it pretty even. And sometimes it's like that. I mean, that's just part of it. Everybody's faces are different. Everybody's eyebrows are different, which is totally fine. And you'll see me going back and forth because, guys, I was literally struggling. So I took off the foundation, and then I'm over here trying to shape it again. I don't know how many times I did this, but I did this so many times. I think in the actual video, like, I cropped a couple of times because it was just too long. Like, I feel like this took a lot of my time, and it's okay because sometimes things like that happen. And the good thing about this quinceañera that day is that I only had 2 clients. I only had her and her mom, so I had a lot of time, and I was taking my time also. So here I am looking back again, and here we go again. I'm taking it off because I feel like it was too thick, and I'm just literally fighting with this brush at this point. But I did get it, guys. I did get it. You'll see in a little bit. And then here I go in with the foundation. I like to apply my foundation with a brush, specifically this NYX brush. It is a really good brush. It blends it really smoothly. I feel like it gives it like a type of airbrush look, and I always do blend it to the neck, guys. You don't want to have a two-tone, like the face being maybe a little bit lighter than your neck. Sometimes you just have to like blend it really good, just because there is times where the foundation is not a full match, and that is okay. Obviously you want to match it as perfect as you can, but sometimes there's like maybe spots in their necks where it's just a tad bit lighter, and some parts that are darker, and that is fine. So always blend it to the neck. And then here I'm just buffing it out, and then I just blend. And she had an amazing skin, so that was a plus for me. Like, she had no acne scarrings or anything like that. And I mean, she's very young. She has very, very clear skin, very beautiful glowy skin. You can even go with a beauty blender as well, guys, and go over that and give it a little bit more of a blend. Here I did go in with a bronzer. I went with like an orangey type of tone, kind of like the same warm tones that I was doing in her eyes. So I'm sticking to like warm tones because she is more of a warm color, and I just feel like these colors look great on her. One thing I will say, guys, if you are a makeup artist, you should definitely be taking some classes for like skin matching, like colors, the color wheel, color theory. They definitely do help a lot. There's a makeup artist that I've been taking classes from. She's actually Colombian. They are in Spanish, guys, but she is such an amazing teacher. I have learned so much from her. I learned about like different types of skin, how to prep skins, also about like color matching, the color theory, like undertones, all of that. Like, if you're not knowing anything about like color undertones, all of that, you definitely need to be investing in that, because that's gonna save you so much time. It actually saves you a lot of money and products, because you do not there's no need for you to be buying 100 foundations, to be honest. If you learn about color theory, you can definitely match a lot more, and you can mix colors and save a lot of money also. So that's another tip for y'all. I did do her nose contour, as you've seen in the video. Everybody's nose is a little bit different. She didn't want like a very extreme contour on her nose, so I did something very lightly. Then I went in with this blush. I should have blended it more on my hand, guys, because once I applied it, as you can see, it was like a burst of pink blush. So I should have blended it a little bit on my hand, but I didn't, and it's okay. This is where I go in with a powder puff, guys. I noticed also blending with powder puffs, it's amazing. It's literally life-changing. I feel like I kind of changed from a beauty blender to a powder puff, and it's been a game changer. I don't know why. It just makes the foundation, everything else look more smooth. Then I did do color correcting under her eyes. We went with like a peachy tone to kind of, she didn't really have, honestly, very dark under eye circles, so they were pretty easy to color correct. And I am just going to be blending that very well. And then after this, then I'm going to be brightening up everything with like, you know, the brighter concealer. I always ask my clients if they want a bright look or what kind of like under eye look do they like, because some people like more of that trendy pinky concealer, and some people don't. Some people just want just their under eyes to be covered. I also do, guys, follow, as you can see where I went in with the concealer. I follow the her inner part of the eyes to kind of give that contour look on her nose, and then I do add a little bit of concealer on the top of her nose where you see that I made that line, and that just kind of gives it like an illusion of contour, like the highlights. So you want to highlight the areas that you want to pop. So we want her nose to look thinner, so you're gonna add something lighter in the center of her nose. And then I also did do her forehead, and I applied a little bit on her chin as well. Nothing too crazy. As you can see, it's a little bit brighter but not extreme. She said she didn't want a super bright under eye or anything bright, so we're just doing like a very subtle brightness just for pictures and stuff, so it can look good. So you see how it gives it like an illusion of a contour, guys. Literally is game changer. So you guys should definitely try that. Don't do anything crazy like a white concealer, because that's gonna look a little insane. I mean, you can definitely do it, but it's just gonna look a little bit crazy. And here I'm just blending that again with a powder puff. And this one I do not use for powders. I use two different powder puffs. So I use one for like my cream products, and then I am gonna go in and use one for powder products. So do not get that confused. I do not use the same powder puff. Okay. All right, guys. So now we're moving on to the setting part. I did apply a translucent powder. I used the one from Laura Mercier. I don't know if that's how you pronounce the name, guys. I don't know. My pronunciations are not the best, guys. I need to definitely practice on that, but it's okay. So I do apply some on the back of my hand, and I blend it in the powder puff, and then I apply it under her eyes. Like, you never want to go directly from the powder, the powder container, because it's gonna look extremely patchy. Just trust me on that, okay? You do not want any powder on your face looking patchy, okay? All right. So then same thing, I'm just applying some in my hand and just probably doing the same thing here. I did go back with the powder puff I used to blend the cream products first. Make sure there is no creases, so you always have them looking up, never have them looking down. Well, here she looked down, but it's okay, guys. It was for like a second. And then I am going in and doing just the same thing, guys. I'm just gonna be setting, then I'm gonna be going throughout the whole face, and you'll see me going back and forth here, just doing the same thing. One thing I didn't want to tell you guys is you can't use a translucent color on darker skin tones. It does not work like that. If you do that, trust me, believe me when I say this, the color of the foundation is going to change completely, and it's going to look like an ashy color because the undertones are not the same. So yeah, guys, makeup is not just, oh, apply your makeup and bang, bang, you're done. It does not work like that. There's a lot of things that you do have to learn about colors and all of that. So if you guys want a video of me kind of explaining about powders and like color match and all that, I can definitely do that for you. Just comment down below. Let me know what you guys want to see, and I can definitely teach you guys as much as I know, because, we can all learn together. Every day we learn something new. Every day I learn something new, especially when it comes to makeup. I'm always like researching things I'm like, what is going on? Like, why is this not coming out? And I'm not gonna lie, guys, sometimes like I have my bad days with makeup where I feel like my work doesn't look the best, and that's okay. It's just like anything we do in life. Here I am still going around setting everything. I do want to say, guys, make sure you set the skin good. Like you might feel like sometimes it looks cakey. You just obviously have to be careful with how much powder you're applying, but you want to set the face good, because especially during the summertime, we live here in Texas, it gets really hot, and they, quinceañeras tend to sweat. People have really oily skin, and if the face is not set good, your makeup is literally going to be melting off. So you want to go ahead and don't be afraid of using powder, guys. Just set the face. So, and that's what I did. I set her whole face. I also do touch their face. On the client, guys, I just go around and see where it's feeling more sticky. So where it feels more sticky, that's where the product is not set enough. So just go back there and apply more product. I did apply some bronzer, guys, and then I also applied some blush as well. I'm using the Juvia's Place for the bronzer. Literally the same color that I use on her eye, the translucent shade, is the same one that I'm using for her face. And it just like the perfect color, as you can see. Looks beautiful. So I just apply that. Here she is using her phone again. It's okay, guys. Like I said, it doesn't bother me. Because, I was on her face, so it was okay. Whenever I do need them to, like, look up and things like that, I will tell them, like, hey, can you look up for me? Or, like, can you do this, and that? Don't be afraid, guys, to communicate with your clients. Because if you don't tell them, like, they're not going to know, and then you're going to be struggling to finish their makeup. So don't be afraid to do that. Whenever I first started doing makeup, that was like one of my biggest things. Like I was like, oh, like how do I tell them, like, hey, like stop using your phone, all this and that. I'll be like, hey, can you give me like a second so I can finish this, or can you do this and that? I feel like now I just kind of gotten used to working with clients using their phones, because a lot of the times they do need to use them, like if they're communicating with vendors and things like that, especially brides. Sometimes they have to do that, and it's okay, it's understandable, as long as they're not like putting their head fully down where I'm not even able to look at their face. Here I did use some blush. I applied honestly, guys, I don't remember what blush it was, but I'm thinking it was either one of the MAC ones, or there's this blush palette that I have, and I mix a whole bunch of blushes together. Oh wait, it's the MAC one. I have it on my hand. This blush, guys, it has a special spot in my heart, because this was one of the first products that I bought that was high-end for me. I got it from MAC with my uncle's money. He had some money. I don't know what it was for. We were getting something for him in the mall, and he was like, oh, you can buy whatever you want. And I ended up buying this blush. Well, it's not this one that I have in my hand, but it was the product, guys. It was the product. So I did apply that there. I also do apply a little bit on their nose as well. I'm just kind of going back and forth. I'm like a very perfectionist when it comes to things like this, especially when I have a lot of time in my hand, guys. I am gonna take my time. Like, nobody is going to rush me. If I have the time, I will take my time, and I feel like everything just looks better and makeup comes out perfect. And then I have also time to record videos like this. Here, I don't know what I was doing, to be honest. I don't remember. I was probably like getting some mascara or something. I can't recall what I was doing, but let's talk about the background, guys. Isn't it so cool? She had like this little sign that said happy birthday, and then it just so happens that I set the chair there. I didn't even notice it until I started recording that. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I had that chair sitting right in the perfect spot. Here I did zoom in. Oh, we were getting the things ready for the eyebrows. So remember how earlier, guys, I kind of had messed up and I couldn't outline it perfect. So I'm going in with the eyebrow pencil. This pencil, guys, I got from the TikTok shop, and it has definitely been a life changer, because the pencil, it's literally like an angled little brush. It's like an angled pencil, and you can sharpen it so it gets very, very, very thin, and it literally gives it what is it called, like strokes, like if it was like hair like strokes. That's what I'm trying to explain. So I'm just doing that on her eyebrows. The eyebrows, guys, did take me a long time. I don't know what it was today. That day I was kind of struggling with eyebrows. I usually don't ever struggle with eyebrows, but It's okay. It happens. And then here, same thing. I'm doing like little strokes on the eyebrows to make it look like little hairs. I love this brow pencil so much. Like, once I discovered it, I will never go back. And guys, it's literally lasted me months. I think I've been having this brow pencil for, I don't know, 7 months. And before, with all the other brow pencils that I would have to buy new ones like every 2 months of. So I did skip it a little bit, guys, because it took me forever to do the other eyebrow, and I did not want this video to be like 2 hours long. Here I am just gonna be blending the eyeshadow just a little bit more, because I did apply a lot of powder around that area, so it looked a little bit patchy on the outer part of her eyes. And then I did go back in with some shimmer as well, just a little bit. I barely even put that on the brush, because like I said, I like to use my finger, but I just went with a little bit with my brush, just a little extra, whatever was on there left. Here we're starting on the lower lash line, and I did use a darker eyeshadow. It's not a black, it is a dark brown, and I use a very thin brush, and I blend that like very close to her lash line, like really close. So I do apply that on there and just blend it really good. And then I'm just gonna do the other side, same thing. Sometimes I pat it and then I just blend it. Just make sure you always have them looking up, guys. And sometimes you do have to pause, because their eyes can get watery. They're like sensitive in that area, and which is totally okay, because I'm the same way. Like, if somebody touches like under my eyes, like they get really sensitive and they get watery also. I don't know why that happens, but it does. I just added a little bit more product, same thing, just blending that there. And next, we decided, guys, to add a cream eyeliner in her waterline, and this is gonna make everything just pop. Maybe it'll show kind of a little bit. Like, I feel like it just opens up her eyes so much more. I don't know if you guys got to see that little clip of where she looked down, but it looks amazing. I feel like it makes the eyes just stand out more. It just opens them up. As you can see how they pop so much more. Then we're moving on to mascara. So I'm using an applicator for this. You don't ever want to use the one that's from the mascara tube, guys. Never, okay? Because there's bacteria and all of that. You always want to be clean, sanitize your kit, sanitize everything, use disposals for everything, okay? That's a big thing. You don't want to be getting sued for things like that. So I do apply mascara. I always have them kind of look down a little bit. Sometimes I have them look straight, just depending on their eyes. There's people that have like eyes where they're kind of more droopy, so I have them look a little bit higher so I can really get in there. And I'm just really careful whenever I do apply, especially in the lower lash line. I kind of just tap it little by little, because I don't want to add mascara onto their skin. And if that does happen, guys, just make sure you just wait like a couple of minutes, and whenever you feel like it's dried enough, just go in with a clean spoolie and just kind of like take it off, and you just can add a little bit of translucent powder on top, and it's literally like magic. Finally, guys, the lips. I am using this lip liner from the e.l.f. collection. I do not remember the name, but it's a very like pretty nude color, like a brown nude. It's kind of hard to explain. It also looks a little bit peachy. It's just a very pretty color. So I am lining the lips. I always start off with the upper lips, and sometimes I do ask them if they want their lips to be a little bit overlined or not, because some clients do like their lips to be overlined. There is times where they ask me if they can do their own lips, and I'm okay with that. It doesn't bother me, because you know what you like and you know what you don't like. So if there is something that you don't like, guys, and you're a client yourself, make sure you speak up and say something, because what we might think it looks good, you might not think it looks good. And I definitely, again, I had to learn that with experience. Here I am just lining the bottom part of her lip, just going around. And I honestly, guys, I love the what is it called, the formula of this lip liner. It was amazing. Very creamy. So I just kind of used this one to outline it. Then we went in with this nude peachy color on top of it, which this one was kind of, it's not a gloss. It's more of a creamy kind of lipstick, and it doesn't set matte, which I like. I'm not a big fan of matte lipsticks. I don't like when they're too matte. Sometimes it just kind of makes your lips like dried and crusty if you don't hydrate them good. Not always, but if you don't hydrate them good, then that tends to happen. That's why I'm not a big fan of that. But I will use them on my clients if that's what they want. I do have some of them. I have the Maybelline lipsticks, which they are really good, only whenever you hydrate your lips. But then here on top of that, I am going to be adding a gloss, guys. So I'll be adding a gloss so you can look very shiny and pretty. And this is just a gloss from Essence. It's just a clear gloss. You can honestly use any of them. There was one time, guys, that I bought a clear gloss, and it was the lip plumping glosses. And I honestly did not see where it said like lip plumping. It said something along those lines. I can't remember. But I noticed because one of my clients, she's like, oh my God, it was a Mexican client. She's like, mija, es que me pican los labios. Is this supposed to pica? She was basically saying like my lips are like feeling tingling, like they're burning a little bit. Like, is this normal? And I was like, that's not normal. And then I looked at the gloss and I was like, oh, it's a lip plumper gloss. And that's when I realized. So make sure you're reading the products that you're buying, guys, because that was another mistake that I made. But yeah, so I'm always like really careful what products I'm buying, and always test them out on yourself before you use them on clients, especially things like that. You want to make sure there's nothing wrong with them. And then here I am cleaning up the outer part of her lip. I'm using not a concealer. I'm using what I had left over of the foundation. Don't use a concealer, guys, because then it's going to look like this white line underneath the bottom of their lip, obviously, because the concealer is a little bit lighter. So just try to use the foundation. And finally, guys, we're moving on to the setting sprays. I use the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray, and I do add a lot of this because I want all of the powder products to melt on her face. And then I am going to be drying it with this little fan. I find that I like using these fans better than the little automatic one, guys. You don't have to worry about no battery, none of that stuff, uncharging, things like that. This one, you open it and bam, bam. It works. I feel like it works so much better. Like, you can blow as much air as you want. And it's a lot better. So I do make sure that I do dry it very well, because I will be applying another setting spray and it's a lot stronger, and I don't want that to like mix together and like the skin crack or anything like that. Then I go in with the Crayola setting spray. It's just like the L'Oreal and the One Size setting spray. Actually, I'm not gonna lie, I think it's a little bit better than both of them, but you can use any of these three. They're all amazing. And I feel like that's what locks in the whole makeup, powder, foundation, eyeshadow, all of that. And she's looking so beautiful, guys. And this is her looking at herself. Honestly, guys, she's more on the serious side, so I asked her here if everything looked good, and she said yes. I think that was like the most I seen her smile in the whole video and the whole time that I was with her. I know she was tired of sitting down here, and she still had to get her hair done. But guys, she came out so beautiful, and I'm happy that she liked her makeup as well. She didn't really know what she wanted, so we came up with this look. She just said, I'm trusting you, and I want something still natural, but something that still pops a little bit. And that's what we came up with, guys. I'm going to be showing you a little bit of videos of what it looks like. I just added her crown. Obviously, her hair wasn't done, but we kind of wanted to give you guys an idea of what it looks like with the crown on. And so pretty. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. Comment down below what you think of this video and if you want to see more videos like this. Thank you. Bye.